Hi, welcome to Rivetea, or welcome back if you have been here before. I have been recapping season 1 of Love and Marriage DC over the last couple weeks in the run up to the new season that is starting this Saturday, the 21st of January. So it's going to be on the OWN network. I have been kind of giving in my opinions here and there, but for the most part, I've just been recapping the episodes just to get you guys up to speed if you watched it ages ago like I did and forgot all about it. Yeah, it's been really fun watching this back. So now I'm on to the reunion. Please do go have a look at the other videos if you haven't seen them already. Check it out on the channel. Subscribe while you're there, please. Let's get to part 1 of the reunion of season 1 of Love and Marriage DC. So, the host of the reunion is producer Carlos King, and ahead of the reunion, Carlos is checking in with all of the couples in their dressing room ahead of the reunion showdown. He goes and checks on the Samuels first. Monique is confused as to why Winter kept acting like they were BFFs the whole season, because she only ever reaches out to Monique about contracts and the show. Just because they've known each other for 15-16 years doesn't make them friends like that. Okay, then next he goes and sees the Tylers. Jamie tells Carlos to be careful about what he asks when he asks about making sure they answer all of his questions honestly. And over in the Silvers dressing room, Quick says that Ashley is clearly the star of the show, and Ashley feels like they are a very honest couple. Carlos says that he has a surprise guest today, and Ashley hopes that they have all their hair today. Over in Winter's dressing room, Winter's not sure if the cast is bothered that a friend of the show has caused so much controversy and conversation, but according to Twitter, they've got a mess brewing. She has no regrets. YOLO. So the reunion gets underway and the ladies look incredible. They look so good. So we start off with Monique and Chris. So Carlos asks Monique how it feels to be back on reality TV, and Monique says the filming portion is always fun, but it's tricky watching the episodes come together because it can feel like there should have been context. Chris says it's been a blessing because he can see the flaws Monique has been talking about for 10 years. And Monique said, look, they have no regrets because even though they weren't in a great place, they were forced to talk because of filming. And they weren't really talking before. And, you know, they had to have these difficult conversations. Monique acknowledges, though, that her delivery wasn't great. Okay, good sis. Because hopefully you were watching what we were watching and it made you as uncomfortable as we were. That was not fun for the most part. So we get a montage of, you know, Monique and Chris over season 1. And Chris says he realizes that he needs to do more for the betterment of their marriage. Carlos brings up that a lot of people believe that Monique brought Chris on to Love and Marriage DC to embarrass him and set up for a divorce. And Monique says that she believes in their love and their marriage. It's easy to be critical of black women who speak up for what they want from their men. The black man is so protected in these spaces, but the only time black people acknowledge black women is when they're breaking down and crying. When black women are strong, now they're combative, now they're aggressive, disrespectful. Her delivery could have been better though. I do agree to some extent with this statement, but I also think that the criticism that Monique has received on socials as a result of this season is pretty fair. It's pretty warranted, right? Your delivery was the problem, Monique, and I don't know that it's fair to use a very real issue of how black women are treated when they're not like breaking down and being completely like meek and weak and all of these things. Like, I don't know that using a very real issue to kind of shirk your own accountability here is the right thing to do. You could have just stuck with the fact that your delivery wasn't great, but maybe she just wanted to point to the issue, make it known on TV. And maybe that's just how she really feels. And, you know, it is what it is. But I'm a big believer in personal accountability as well as addressing issues in our society. So, yeah. With that said, Ashley can relate to being expressive with your husband, especially with a provider type. And she has faced criticism herself for being so strong and for wanting that emotional side from Quick. Chris says that, you know, they won't be dealing with the same problems in season 2. Yeah. Because you guys aren't on it. So, we're now on to Ashley and Quick, and Carlos wants to know something about like something that happened in Jamaica since being on the show. And Quick talks about getting off the plane to go to Mocha Fest, and some ladies were there that were really, really excited to see him, and they're like, oh my god, that's him, that's him. So he's thinking they're just fans that are going to Mocha Fest, but it turns out they yelled, that's Quicksilver, that's Ashley's husband. Love that. And Ashley says that it feels great to have the spotlight on her finally, but she's always felt like a star. Oh no, that's right, Ashley. Yes. So we get the montage of Ashley and Quick's time on the show, and Quick says that he has medicine for gout now. He's taking it, and so he's getting better. Ashley says the issue is still there, but Quick doesn't want to listen to nobody. This is the first time apparently that Quick has been open and vulnerable to anyone outside of Ashley because of what he was taught growing up. So Carlos relates to this and talks about how black men especially are taught not to cry, to just get up and deal with things. Quick says Ashley taught him the meaning of unconditional love, but also how to show it. Through everything that he went through, his mum dying at 10, being shot at 13, his dad dying at 18, he was never really like hugged and told that it's okay until he met Ashley. So he's raising his son Antonio to become a much better man than him, and Antonio knows that he can display his emotions in front of his dad. Ashley feels like, she gave up a lot of her life to help Quick become the success that he is. So from a young age, she was tasked with supporting Quick and his endeavors and looking after the kids, and was just kind of expected to figure it out. Ashley's story has always been something that has always scared me about people getting married and having kids like really young. Obviously there's benefits to it. So you get the child rearing out the way sooner. You're less likely to have difficulties with pregnancy, things like that. But like on the flip side, it's a lot of sacrifice, especially from, the main caregiver, which is usually the mother, right? So it's always been a tricky one when people marry and have kids young. Ashley goes on to clarify that if she could do it all again, she would not have married Quick so young, but she would actually have married Quick again, but just later in life. So we're now getting Irena and Jamie's montage of their time on the show, and Jamie says the fans have labelled him as controlling and angry, but he is just the way he is. Irena says Jamie is, he was very controlling when they first got married, but now she feels like she can speak up for herself. Jamie said the reason that he was controlling with the finances, especially early on, was because she was irresponsible and had debts. He paid off her credit cards and created the boss that you see here today. Irena does agree that Jamie created her. Listen, I'm all for giving each other credit for helping you become sort of the best version of yourself, or the version that you are at, today, especially with such a long marriage. I'm uncomfortable though. I don't like statements like that. With that being said, I don't have a 26-year marriage under my belt. I don't. But like, something about that just makes me uncomfortable. It does. Like, I created the boss that you see here today. Like, I'm sure she had something to do with it, mate. Do you know what I mean? Like, relax. On how handsy Jamie was on the show, and they flash back to the scene in episode 8 where Jamie grabbed her face when the group was talking about winter. Carlos asks if Irena is in an abusive marriage, and Irena says Jamie has never put his hands on her. It wasn't a hard grab. Jamie says he knows his wife and he knows when, he needs to calm her down. I remember watching that clip and I didn't think, I thought he was very abrupt, but I'm just used to Jamie being like that, and I suspect Irena must be too, right? So I didn't see it maybe in the same way as some other people did. Some other people did say that like that was too much, that was too aggressive, that was too much, and I see that point. But for me, I just didn't see that particular moment as a cause for concern for me personally, but I get it. At the vegan dinner, Carlos wants to know why Jamie was so upset by Irena talking about past situations in their marriage, and Jamie says ish happens in a marriage and he doesn't want to just be bringing up things for 15 years ago. On Irena's inappropriate texts, Jamie says this was one of the darkest moments of their relationship. He saw 3 conversations from men trying to hook up with Irena, and he actually knew one of the men, so he lost it. He was ready to go to jail over the disrespect and audacity, and he doesn't even ever want to feel like that again. So revisiting that from 12 years ago also triggered him. Irena reminds Carlos that she told Winter on the show that the reason she was having these conversations was because Jamie was hanging out, not answering his phone, coming home at like 4 or 5 a.m. Carlos brings up how defensive Jamie was in the argument outside the rental property, and Jamie says Irena has been painting a picture that he is controlling and insensitive, and that scene was based off of an argument from the night before. I do respect Quick for jumping in here and saying even if Ashley is dead wrong, he would never be checking her in front of people. I respect that. Don't check each other like that in front of people. That's too much. Jamie clearly doesn't see what he did wrong at all, though. So even, he even says the reason that he raised his voice that night was because she didn't do what he asked her to. You're the one painting the controlling narrative yourself there. Irena doesn't need to do that for you. Because let me tell you what's not going to happen. You are not about to clap your hands at me and give me instructions like that. Not in public, not ever. And expect for an argument to not immediately ensue. Like, I don't blame Irena for leaving and having an attitude with him the next day until he apologised. But clearly he didn't mean that apology, because here he is at the reunion defending his position again. So now we get Winter's montage from her time on the show. First of all, it's interesting that the first clip that was used in Winter's montage was Monique calling her friend, because at the start of this reunion, she's trying to act like they weren't friends. She just knows the girl for 15 years, right? Anyway, that's by the by. So they do the montage and Carlos introduces her as an alleged relationship specialist. Shady. And Winter walks on stage with a friend of the show church fan in her hand. Carlos asks about Winter's job title of relationship coach when she recently referred to herself as a minister on Twitter. Carlos wants to know, which one is it? And Winter says when she met Kevin, she was a relationship coach, but then became a spiritual life coach and minister after that. Monique was confused, as was everybody else, because she was calling herself a life and relationship coach, even at the vegan dinner. She had no clue that she was into this spiritual stuff, but she says that she knew Winter's parents were both ministers, to be fair. Carlos then brings up Ashley's tweet. So the tweet reads, "You can fake and front for these Twitter streets all you want to. Stop hiding behind, I'm a minister, I'm saved. You're a hypocrite is what you are, with terrible judgment. You should try to play with someone safer. I'm not the 1 to 100. See you at the reunion at Simply Winter. Hashtag LAMDC." Winter says it's unfortunate because she was meeting these people for the first time and they don't know her story. Ashley says she still thinks Winter is a hypocrite because she tweeted that the day after the second episode aired, and Ashley pulls out the aggressive Ashley host cards and starts talking timelines. Oh, we know Winter hates when people start doing that. Episode 2, Ashley asks all the questions after Winter calls herself a relationship expert. Ashley sees that Winter has tweeted. I think the funny part about Ashley coming for me is that I'm not a relationship coach. I dabbled in it years ago. I'm an author, public speaker, and minister. So again, my mean girl statement is valid. Speak your mind. Just base it on the facts. Hashtag LAMDC. How is Ashley being a mean girl, Ashley wants to know, if she's speaking facts based on what Winter has told her? Winter says it's more so delivery, and Ashley holds her feet to the fire and says, no, Winter specifically tweeted that Ashley was not speaking facts. Winter had no choice but to give her that, and even says Monique tagged her saying that she had actually called herself that in the episode. Now Winter babbles on for a bit, then says Ashley is not wrong, but she has to speak to where she is at now. What does that mean, sis? What are you even talking about right now? This is just double speak. What are you talking about? Ashley keeps pushing the point about being a mean girl and not speaking facts, and Winter is still stuck on this whole delivery thing. So Ashley says it doesn't matter if she delivers it through Domino's or Pizza Hut. Winter says, well, does she have to like the pizza? Ashley says, are you getting a pizza or a hot dog? Because a pizza is a pizza. Carlos breaks it up, saying he's hungry, but I'm with Quick on this one. Let Ashley go. Let Ashley go. Ashley needs to hold her feet to the fire, just like Winter had to do with Kevin at their house on the river. So now we get the little montage, the gutter Barbies montage, right? Winter versus Ashley and Irena. So We get that, and Arena asks if her and Ashley are supposed to be the gutter Barbies because they address Winter about giving their husbands nicknames. Winter says, well, they both had negative things to say about her ex-husband and his situation. What situation, sis? Him having 2 kids with a nanny? Information none of us would know if you didn't unprovoked just come out and tell us. At the pop-up event, when you're meeting at least Ashley for the first time. Okay. Ashley pushes back that she brought up her ex-husband being a cheater with 2 outside children after the selfie event, after Winter accused Quick of cheating, and Winter said, don't talk about my ex-husband, that's the father of my children. Well, Winter says, absolutely. Well, then Ashley's like, well, what the F is Quick? Ashley goes on to talk about the rumours that Winter kept alluding to, and that Winter said it to Monique like they had had that conversation, but that never actually happened. Monique interjects at this point to point out that Winter was trying to get her riled up with the retelling of the brunch. Winter said for her, she was just talking to her friend. She didn't think that she would go back and tell the ladies. Ashley asks, so you lied to your friend? Monique adds that she actually told Winter at the dinner that she would be bringing this up with Ashley and Arena anyway. I can't. I no longer can with Winter. I can't do it. Her double speak is just entirely too much for me. This whole thing is so stupid. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And Monique really hit the nail on the head, suggesting that Winter never got over basically being called out at the vegan dinner. So all her little comments after were just her trying to get back at the ladies, because clearly she didn't expect for the gutter Barbies to be so on form, because she couldn't handle their mouths. Carlos asked Winter, well, what propelled you to accuse Ashley and Arena's husbands of cheating on their wives? Do you know things about Jamie and Quick that the ladies don't know? Here goes the queen of doublespeak. She says yes, but she doesn't reveal things like that, even if they're asking. She thinks revealing receipts is like a whole new level of low. And Ashley tells Winter she is a level of low. She is the lowest person on the show. Oof, get her. Yes, truth. Winter says it's Ashley that's low. Ashley asks, well, how's she low? Because she asks questions based on the things that she says. Winter says it's because she doesn't like how she asks. Girl, bye. Winter has just spent all this time telling Ashley that basically she doesn't like being asked questions, like a true liar doesn't. And now is saying, well, am I not entitled to ask, while they're having their little back and forth with this whole rumour thing? Ashley is done with this girl at this point, and I understand. She tells Winter she's a low-ass B, and Winter asks why she keeps calling people out of their name. Well, Ashley responds, you called my husband a cheater and DJ Fun Size. Just because they're not curse words doesn't mean you're not calling him out of his name. Points were made. Quick is heated at this point, so he is clearly about to start arguing with Winter too, but Chris tells him, no, cool off, watch his tone, Winter's a lady. He can't hold it in though when Ashley starts talking about Winter's toothless friend. Who is this toothless friend? So Winter starts talking about like the toothless friend who apparently, was talking about Quick and had all these things to say. And at this point, Quick has lost it. He yells, keep my name out your effing mouth, B, and clarifies that he's not talking about Winter, but this male toothless friend. Ashley is still going, calling Winter's abstinence story a lie too, and that she's been hooking up with this toothless friend for months, apparently. Whew. Even Carlos had to get up at this point. Yeah, I mean, Winter's talking about, well, let's call him then. All right, so anyway, the episode ends. That's the end of part 1. Come back and I will recap part 2 for you. Okay, bye.